Welcome back for part 2 of the series of my CO garage in which I test all my legendary and Benny vehicles in the snow. This is the second highest floor with following vehicles: the FMJ at 1.75 million, the Lynx first in the sports category at 1.735 million, the Reaper at 1.595 million, the Nero at 1.44 million, the Tempesta at 1.329 million, the 811 at 1.125 million, and last but not least, the Adder at 1 million. So let's check it all out now. So first up, one of my favorites again, the FMJ. I call this car my pancake because it's so low to the ground, and under normal weather conditions I actually really like this car. Brakes out nicely in the back, you can slide in through corners and stuff, but as we see over here in the snow, it's a disaster. It's not really controllable like it is under normal weather conditions, so I really had a handful with this one. The rear would break out and I couldn't control it. Of course, a better pilot could do just that, but like I said before, I'm just an average pilot, so there were better cars that I tested for driving in the snow, and although I do like this one is not to be used in the snow. Pick a better alternative. It remains a very cool and nice car, in my humble opinion, but it's not the car that I would choose to drive in the snow. Let's put her back. And then the next one, I'm curious how this one will perform. The Lynx, the most expensive sports car in Grand Theft Auto Online, and to some a very big disappointment because it had that steep price tag, but as we will see in the next footage, this car handles beautifully in the snow. This one is another dream to drive, and very pleased with its performance in the snow. Slides, brakes out now, it's in the back, you can control it, and accelerate out of it, real nice. That's another snowmobile, guys, for sure. Don't mind the collisions, that's due to the pilot, not the car. Yes. Let's put it back again. It did good, the Lynx. Then next up, the Reaper. Back to 3B for you, and we roll back into the Reaper. Well done. Reaper. I had high hopes for this car, but it disappointed. You will see that. Don't mind the collision, but I had a hard time controlling it again. Something I didn't experience with the Lynx. It's still okay, but no. For some strange reason, no.
This isn't happening. Oh my god. What?
I do think it's a very nice car. Resembles a little the Vaca that we will test later on as well. Let's say the the higher price tagged twin of the Vaca. And then next up, the Nero. I was very curious about this one because the Nero Custom was such a dream to drive in the snow. And guess what? Nero does it as well. Like I said before, that it has a nice retractable or raisable spoiler. And once again, it just blows through the snow like it's nothing. Very controllable. Don't mind the minor collisions, that's due to the pilots. But this car gives you real confidence to drive in the snow. Also had zero experience with both of these cars, and still they gave me a lot of confidence to drive in the snow, so that says something about the vehicle. And also it's a very beautiful car. The big brother of the Adder, which we will test a little later in this video as well. Next up, another new vehicle, the Tempesta. Was also curious about this one. I don't tend to use it much in free roaming, but whenever there's snow, I rather should. Because this one, it's more light-footed than the Nero, but it also has that let's say that power that you need to drive out of a slide. But this one is more agile. Personally, I like my cars to be more planted, but that's such a smaller remark, of course. Other drivers like more agile cars would opt for this one. If I would have to opt between to pick between the Nero and this one, I would pick the Nero, but it's safe to say this car is just as good as the Nero and the Nero Custom in the snow. Next up, the 811. This car I only use whenever there's a highest top speed event going on in free roaming, and otherwise I don't use it at all. For some reason it just doesn't give me any confidence for driving it around, and also in normal weather conditions. And over here in the snow, it gives a little bit more confidence, but like I said, I used this car in free roaming when it got released, and within the first week or so I grew tired of it. I just didn't like its handling, but that's once again personal preference, personal taste. But I don't see myself using it much. And in the snow, I must admit, it's actually a little bit better for some strange reason. Although, once again, it's a very beautiful car. Let's not forget that. With a nice exhaust below the spoiler, an option at LSC, of course. But okay, and then last but not least, the Adder. I had high hopes for this one because it's family of the Nero, so it should perform well in the snow. So that was my presumption, of course, and to be honest, it did. It's not as good as the Nero. It's not as good as the 811 for some strange reason, and that's perhaps just because I tested them back to back. It's a four-wheel driven car, and feel it. It handles nicely, but it's not phenomenal. That's something that's reserved for the Nero and the Nero Custom. But this one also nice. You used to see them more in free roaming. Nowadays they're practically extinct. Nobody uses them anymore. Everybody remembers the chrome days when these cars would roll around in Los Santos all chromed up. Nowadays they're extinct. You hardly ever see them again. which is sad because actually it's a very nice and good car. Alright, this is it. Thanks for watching for this video again, and see you in the next part. Cheers.